Hello people, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. This is my review of the game which took place earlier between Manchester City and Chelsea, which Chelsea lost by 6 goals to 0. So what I'm going to do for you guys in terms of this review is that firstly I'll be giving you the lineup in which Maurizio Sarri fielded at the start of the game, then I'll give you my thoughts on the game itself, and lastly I'll be giving you my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming fixture against Malmo in the Europa League. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So starting off with the lineup, it was a 4-3-3 with that deep line playmaker involved, and in terms of the personnel in which Maurizio Sarri decided to go with at the start of the game, he went with Kepa in goal. He went with a back four from right to left of Cesar Azpilicueta, Antonio Rudiger, David Luiz and Marcos Alonso. He went with a midfield three of Jorginho in that deep line playmaker role, with Ross Barkley and N'Golo Kante just ahead of him, and he went with a front three from right to left of Pedro Rodriguez, Gonzalo Higuain and Eden Hazard. Now, getting into my thoughts on the first half, I actually thought that we started the first half fairly well, although Sterling did put the ball in the back of the net from a free kick, which I believe was put into the box by Kevin De Bruyne. But yes, for me, there are two players to blame for that. Marcos Alonso and Jorginho. Jorginho for conceding that free kick for conceding the free kick in the first place, and Marcos Alonso for moving out of position to allow the City player who crossed it in to cross it in. But yeah, that was the first goal for Manchester City. After that, we were put on the back foot for the rest of the first half. But getting into the rest of my thoughts on the first half, I thought that Eden Hazard did try to carry the ball forward a few times, and he did try to pull off a few shots, although some of them were off target. City scored 3 more goals in the first half, obviously, and two of them were scored by Aguero, and the fourth one was scored by Ilkay Gundogan. So getting into City's second goal, Aguero picks up the ball just outside the box, and he just shoots, he just fires, and it goes into the top corner. Kepa did get a hand on it, but he couldn't keep it out. To be fair to Kepa, he was a bit unlucky with that shot. But it was 2-0 at that point. Getting into the third goal now, this was a stupid mistake by Ross Barkley. He was trying to clear the ball, or at least I think he was trying to clear the ball, but instead he was facing his own goal, and he headed it back into the box, and Aguero just taps it into the bottom corner, and that was 3-0. And getting into the fourth goal, which again was just stupid, and again was kind of Ross Barkley's fault. People are blaming Kepa for that, but you can't blame Kepa for that. You can't blame him entirely for that, shall I say, because when we lost 3-1 to Tottenham back in November, when Kane scored that goal in I think it was the 18th minute of the game, people were blaming David Luiz for that. So why is it that we're blaming Kepa for this one when it was a similar type of goal? So what happened with this goal is that Ross Barkley, he was in front of the goalkeeper. He was in front of Kepa, and he actually moved out of the way. So yeah, and Gundogan just puts it into the bottom corner. Kepa did dive for it. So again, you can say that he was a bit unlucky, but yeah, it was 4-0 at half time. So overall, my thoughts was the way Chelsea played in the defensive third and attacking third. I thought that our defending was poor and we were really slow going forward. But that's it for my thoughts on the first half. Getting into my thoughts on the second half, I thought that again it was pretty much the same. We were really poor. Maurizio Sarri made no changes at half time, and for me he deserves criticism for that. But I'll get into more depth on that later on in this review. Hazard had to drop deep to receive the ball. Aguero gets his hat-trick after scoring a penalty which was conceded by Cesar Azpilicueta. Now for me, definite penalty. I don't know what Cesar Azpilicueta was doing. I don't know why he lunged in like that. It's very unlike him. He's normally really good with his tackles, but yes, Kepa dived the wrong way, and Aguero just tucks it into the opposite corner. Or shall I say the opposite bottom corner. Chelsea also struggled to get the ball out of their half, as Manchester City put Chelsea under a lot of pressure. We also gave the ball away quite a lot in the second half. We tried to do long balls several times, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't sticking. That's pretty much how we were giving the ball away as well. We kept just trying these long balls, and they weren't working. I think that Rudiger put in a lot of effort at the back. I think he was our best defender today, without a doubt. The other three defenders were pretty poor in my opinion, but yeah, like I said already, Chelsea were giving the ball away cheaply, and they barely did any attacking in the second half. Like I said already, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who came on for Pedro, he carried the ball forward and he won us a free kick, which was struck by Emerson Palmieri, but it was straight at the keeper. That could have been a consolation goal for us, but it wasn't. Sterling ended up making it 6-0. As Gabriel Jesus, who came on for, I believe it was Sergio Aguero, puts the ball in, a low cross into him. I mean, he puts the ball in from the left wing position, and Raheem Sterling is just there in the centre of the box and just taps it into the net with his right foot, I believe. And then after that, we just looked tired, and Manchester City just made it look like a training session. So overall, I thought that Chelsea were absolutely terrible throughout the majority of the match. Manchester City tore our defence to shreds and ran rings around our midfielders. Maurizio Sarri has to take some of the blame for not making any changes at half time and for making like-for-like changes in the second half. Chelsea's best players, in my opinion, were N'Golo Kante, Eden Hazard and Antonio Rudiger. People are saying that Eden Hazard wasn't good, but the reason why I said that he was one of our best players because he kept going, he kept trying, he had to drop deep in order to receive the ball, which tells you that he's not having the best of games, but he's still trying to. So yeah, and also Gonzalo Higuain, who I think Gonzalo Higuain, I think, sorry for stuttering, I think Gonzalo Higuain tried, but he just didn't get get an awful lot of service. And I also thought that Ruben Loftus-Cheek had a decent game when he came on. He won us a couple of free kicks. He drove with the ball. He was running at the City defenders and midfielders. But yes, overall it was terrible. And I think that there are serious problems at the club at the moment. But yeah, getting into my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming fixture against Malmo FF in the Europa League, I think that we just have to go out and win. I don't care how we win. I'm just not confident in this Chelsea team right now. But yes, as you can tell, I'm really upset about this one, or shall I say disappointed, which is more accurate. I expected Chelsea to do a lot better, and I expected Chelsea to at least try throughout the entire game. Like I said in my video where I gave you my 4 things in which I believe the first team needed to do, I did say that Chelsea needed to concentrate for the entire game, and it looked as if Chelsea couldn't concentrate for barely any of the game. But yeah, that is the end of my review. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you all very soon. Like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Come on you Blues, and peace.